My health journey didn't start with me in the gym. It didn't start with me, um, having any ailments or illnesses and stuff. My health journey actually started when my mom got cancer and we were just navigating those rocky waters. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Revel Berman, where we discuss all things health, wellness, and fitness. So guys, my health, wellness, and fitness journey, as I mentioned, did not start with me in gym. It did not start with me having any particular sickness and ailment some years ago. It actually started with me, seeing my mom get diagnosed with cancer, seeing her do surgery after surgery, seeing her do chemotherapy, radiation, and all sorts of treatments, to try to address the issue. And it was really devastating because I was pretty young at the age. I was about, I would say, give or take, 18. I was around 18. Can't remember. But it was at that moment where that was the first time I made the conscious decision that I am going to live a healthier lifestyle. I'm going to be more healthy, my choices. And it's been hard, but let's dive right into it. So firstly, cancer is a very touchy subject, and we see a lot of people now getting cancer, young, old, and it's something that affects not just the person that is going through this ailment, but also the family members around them, and it really changes your life and your perspectives on, health and nutrition. So my mom, she passed on, God rest her soul, and she would have died from cancer, ovarian cancer, right? And I remember going with her to do chemotherapy, radiation, all these treatments, and I was going to school at the point in time, but I would always make it my business to go with her to do the treatments. And I remember the first time she actually got the diagnosis, right? Actually, let's pedal back a bit. Let's go back. So my mom would have had ovarian cyst. She died from ovarian cancer. And I distinctly remember the first time she did the surgery to remove, this is when she got the symptoms and stuff. She started to get pain. She went and do a surgery, and the doctor didn't take out all the cysts. He took out one and he left the rest, because where I'm from, and with doctors and thing now, sometimes they get paid for every surgery that they do. So if you do the surgery more than one time, that means more money they're making, right? But it's not conducive for the patients. And long story short, he didn't tell her that after the first surgery, you have to eat healthy, you have to change your diet and your lifestyle and everything, because cysts can grow back, or the ones that you have that he didn't take out, they will get bigger and they can get cancerous. So he didn't explain all of these things. So long story short, she had to find out later on that she had more she had more cysts, and they were now cancerous. So she did rounds of chemo and radiation. And as I said before, he didn't explain to her that, your diet and things that you eat and all these different things, these things are going to make you get worse. And this is pretty much where I started my health journey. So at this point, this is where I'm actually like, I'm gonna eat healthier. I don't want sugar. So all in my mom's doing treatment, and I stopped eating meat. I was eating, but not as often. I'm eating more vegetables. I'm digging and researching and looking for all sorts of remedies and things that you could try. At that point, I think I would have came across Dr. Sebi, the first time I came across Dr. Sebi, um, I decided that I was no longer going to like eat fast food and junk and all these different things. I decided, listen, I want to be healthy, so I'm going to make a conscious decision to like cut down on all these junk. It was very intentional, and I decided I lost weight. People was like, oh, you're losing weight, you're getting small, because I decided I'm no longer going to eat certain foods. I'm no longer going to do this and that because it's not healthy. You know, I can't explain to you now the position I'm in now, my age now. I wish I had the information back then. I wish I knew how to research properly back then about cancer. I wish I knew more about cellular nutrition. I wish I knew more about supplements. I wish I knew more about herbs. I wish I knew more about what it takes to make a healthy cell. I wish I knew more about um you know toxins and what they do to the body. I wish I knew more about products. I wish I knew more about alternative holistic treatments and stuff, and what nutrient deficiencies actually mean. Had I knew more about these things, I believe that my mom would have had a fighting chance, because we were her support system. So we would have, of course, encourage her. Apart from her doctor's advice, the surgery and stuff, we would have encouraged her on foods to eat. We would have cooked better foods for her. We would have provided better environments for her. We would have not put any source of stress on her. We would have made sure that she tried herbs and take her supplements, make sure she get tests to see if she's deficient in certain areas. All these things were not done because we simply did not have the information. We didn't have the information, and it's quite heartbreaking. It's quite heartbreaking because we look at it now. I look back now and I tell myself there is so much more that I could have done. But moving on, so that is what basically prompted me to start this health, wellness, and fitness journey. So after my mom would have passed, because we didn't have the proper information, I decided I wanted to live a healthier lifestyle. I wanted to, eat better. I wanted to exercise. I wanted to limit the processed foods and the fast foods. I wanted to not let nobody stress me out. No. So yes, so that is what basically prompted me to start my health, wellness, and fitness journey. However, I have always been pretty active. I have always been active in school, from school come up from a very young age, in sports and activities and exercising and stuff. I've always liked being involved in physical activity, and I've always had fruits and veggies. I've never had a problem really and truly, some vegetables, but I've never been like totally grossed out by fruits and veggies. So these things I would have been doing. However, it wasn't sufficient enough, because only when I went down the rabbit hole and I deep dive, I realized how many information I wouldn't have had before. How many information on nutrient deficiencies and supplements and the vitamins and minerals and fatty acids and the amino acids that our body needs. And had I had this information, I would have been able to make more informed decisions. But now that I have the information, it would have sent me spiraling deeper into the rabbit hole, into becoming healthy, into looking at gut issues and stress and cortisol levels and hair loss and all. And with my daughter now, I made a decision that I don't want her to have to experience what I experienced. And I don't know, I don't know what the future holds, but I know that true knowledge just shall be delivered. I know that God says that my people perish for a lack of knowledge, and I know that the more information that I have, I can now share it to her. I know that the information I have, I can share it on to others, and that we can all have a better fighting chance. We can all be able to fight against these diseases with, you know, the right nutrition, right exercises, the right environments, you know, eliminating certain things so that, you know, we can become healthy, right? It's quite unfortunate that most people are, they don't even have the information, and they are just sitting ducks, eating unhealthy, drinking themselves into a stupor, you know, and doing all these things that are making them unhealthy, only for them to have to fight a nasty battle later on. It's so unfortunate. At first, you don't really understand what is happening. You know, you feel helpless. You feel as if you've seen this person go from strong to so weak. You have absolutely no idea what you are doing, and you can't even begin to fathom the feelings that you are now going to experience because you don't know what to do and how to help them. And after my mom passed, I made the decision that I'm going to actually take health more seriously, and I did. I started walking, I started drinking less, I started eating healthier foods, I started doing a lot of research on cellular nutrition, on herbs, spices, you know, on supplements that we should be taking. And this is kind of what shaped who I am today, and how I view health and fitness, and how I view my body now. Because before it was just like you want to look good, but now it's actually about being healthy. It's about not suffering in silence and in pain. And now it became more than fitness. It became where you were actually paying attention to your body. It became now where you actually started paying attention to how you felt, you know, symptoms, whether you were getting stomach pains, whether you were feeling stressed. You started paying attention to every bit of detail. You no longer took anything for granted. Everything was taken into account because we now wanted to live a healthier lifestyle. So guys, find your why. Find your reason as to why you want to take this health and fitness journey. Find the reason as to why you want to live a healthier lifestyle, why you want to be in optimal health. You know, it is right there, and sometimes you may be ignoring it, but if you're starting your health journey, you must have a why. And this why is going to shape who you become in the future around health and wellness. And you can start your health journey today as well. You could start today, you could start next week, you could start next month, preferably today. However, starting your health journey doesn't mean that you have to know everything one time. It doesn't mean that you have to have everything figured out. It just means that you have a why. You have a why as to why you want to start your health and fitness and wellness journey, and you have a good reason. Your why could be for yourself, your why could be for your children, your why could be for your family, your friends, your husband, your wife. It could be for yourself most importantly, but you must start with a why. And once you have this why, then every day you take small incremental steps to start your health and your wellness journey. Right, guys? And never forget that it doesn't matter where you are right now, things can turn around for you. Things could get better. Things could get better day by day, and you will begin to see change. You will begin to see improvement. You will begin to see, you know, visible signs of healing. You just have to have faith in God, and you have to show up for yourself. So, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you can start your health and wellness journey today. Start today. Okay? So, guys, I love you guys to life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment on my channel for more content and more information on health, wellness, and fitness. Right, you guys? So